So this year I'm doing things a little bit different when it comes to growing my tomatoes. No more pinching off those suckers. For years, this is the method I've been following because I thought that's what you should do to build a nice strong main stem and get a really good harvest. But I haven't really seen great results with my tomatoes over the years. And I was really happy to see that that theory of pinching suckers is now out the door and people are saying don't pinch them, let them grow, let them bloom and produce as much fruit as they can. So I'm stopped doing that now, which means your tomatoes are going to get fuller and bushier and heavier because you're going to have more fruit, more branches. So we need to talk a little bit about how I'm going to secure my tomatoes so that they can handle that extra fruit that I'm hopefully going to be getting now that I'm not pinching off any more suckers. So if this is your first time joining me on my channel, my name is Tracy and I'm a cold climate gardener living on the prairies in Saskatchewan, Canada, growing zone 3. And on my channel, I like to share how you can garden and grow 12 months of the year, no matter where you live, no matter what the temperature is outside. So be sure to check out my free cold climate gardening guides. The link is in the description box below. So this is where I grow most of my tomatoes every year, in this one raised garden bed. I have indeterminate varieties that I can use this trellis to grow up 6-7 feet. And then over here, I've got my determinate ones that have a nice fence that they can also grow up. So the determinate variety was the ones that I never usually did remove any suckers from because they only grow so big and, you know, bloom and produce fruit and then they're done. Whereas the determinate ones can keep growing and sending out suckers all the time. So they get very bushy, very heavy, and can flop over. So this setup here isn't really ideal for that kind of growing. I want them to be able to grow up, use the vertical space. I want to be able to get as many tomato plants growing and producing in a small space. So I am using what I call the string method. There's probably different names for this, but it's a really simple system that I use where I am just attaching a little clip here around the main stem of the tomato. So this tomato's only been in the ground for less than a month, so it hasn't really started taking off. But once I get one of these little clips on here with the string, I just strand it up to the top there. And as the plant grows, I can just weave it around this string and it'll help keep it secure. It'll get bushy now and full of blooms and fruit, and hopefully this will be all it needs to be healthy and be able to handle the weight of all the tomatoes that hopefully we are going to get here. So in the past, normally what I would be doing right now is checking out all my tomatoes, going to these little spaces here, finding these little, what we call suckers coming out, and I would be pinching them off. Now they just call them, you know, another main stem. Basically what's going to happen here is it's going to shoot out another main stem that's going to have blooms on it and produce fruit. So you're going to have more fruit happening as it grows higher. The only thing that I probably will continue doing for sure is pruning down at the bottom here. Anything that is touching the ground as far as leaves and little suckers coming out the bottom, I will probably just pinch those off just to keep that airflow going. So it's a little bit hard to film everything in action here so that you can really see it well. So I've just put together some clips here just to show you how I do my stringing of my tomatoes. So on this trellis here, I'm just using some zip ties to create something that I can easily tie some string to. So I've just put a couple of them on the top, and then these little plastic clips that I use to go around the stem of the tomato, I am attaching some garden string to it, and then I just go to the plant and find a good spot where I can put that clip around. It's a nice wide clip, so as the tomato grows, you know, it won't affect the stem too much, but I just want to make sure I put it somewhere where it's going to be secure and won't slide up and down too much. Then from there, I just string my garden string up the trellis, cut off as much as I need to tie it up and keep it fairly tight. You know, if it's a little bit loose, that's okay. I'm going to be wrapping that tomato plant around that string as it grows. So you want it to be a little bit flexible so that, you know, in the wind, you don't have to worry about your plant breaking off or anything like that. So then once I've got it tied and secured, that's pretty much it for now. So with my determinate tomatoes, I'll be doing the same thing, just securing them somewhere on the stem right here, just running a string up, and then I got all these zip ties kind of on the top of here, so that'll just help keep them stable when the wind comes up and they take a beating, or when they're getting heavy with, you know, the bigger tomatoes. This will help keep them secure. This tomato plant here is called 42 Days, and it's a new variety that I purchased from Heritage Harvest Seeds in Manitoba. If anybody has grown these, let me know. They are supposed to produce fruit within 42 days of planting, and I can see that these are loaded up with blooms already. So I'm going to just get it secured here. I just want to try to show you. But I also want to just point out that I do try to keep any branches that are touching the soil pruned off, just to help, you know, keep that airflow going. It kind of reduces, you know, the chance of disease when you have some of these branches touching the soil. So I'm just going to give them a little bit of a clean up here. But you can see, like I say, it's got lots of blooms on it already. And it's got a whole bunch of branches going every which way. So I don't want to prune it too much. I want to be able to get as many blooms going here as I can. I've been using these clips for my tomatoes indoors in my hydroponics as well as outdoors. I'm running out of them. They seem to kind of break down, especially if you leave them outside all winter. So I don't have many left. I'm going to have to come up with another plan. If you have any suggestions or favorite types of clips that you use on your tomatoes to help to help support them, let us know in the comments what you use. So I usually just kind of check out the main stem area and find a good spot to put the clip in that it's going to stay secure. Hopefully you can kind of see here. I can zoom in, show you once I get that in place. So I just follow the same process I'm doing with my indeterminate and just get a string system going here. Then once you have that string in place, then as the plant grows, you can just kind of weave that string throughout kind of the main stem area. As it grows, you can just keep winding it around. It's got a little bit of flexibility so that it can move in the wind and you don't have to worry about breaking that stem. So this is normally where all my tomato plants go, in these two raised garden beds. I got this beautiful trellis that they can grow up. Got a nice spot for determinate tomatoes. But this year I started so many tomatoes. I wanted to try all different varieties. Just thought it'd be fun to show you which varieties I got growing here. Maybe in the comments you can let me know what your favorite ones to grow. I like to do the indeterminate, the determinate, cherries, the paste, and, you know, slicing type tomatoes. So all kinds. So I got black Krim and Brandywine indeterminates here. And then for my determinants, I got a couple Romas going here. I have one called Manitoba, good old Manitoba. This is the 42 days, ones that I've never grown. As you can see, I have a good close up here. This is loaded up with blooms already. So that might be my first producer. And then all my excess tomatoes came over here. I got another Brandywine, another Manitoba. I'm going to be just using bamboo sticks here to support them. And then I threw two more into this grow bag. This is a Vivosun 15-gallon cloth grow bag. Works also really well for tomatoes, peppers, potatoes. And I forgot to mark what these 2 tomatoes are. Pretty sure they're determinate because that's why I put them in this smaller grow bag here. So those are going to be a surprise. Over here I have another variety that I've never tried before. This is a bush dwarf variety called Red Robin. It produces small red cherry sized tomatoes. So that's another variety that I haven't tried before. If anybody's tried them, let me know what you think of them. So let me know in the comments, have you been a pincher, or have you always just left your suckers on your indeterminate tomatoes just go and grow? And what kind of, production have you had in the past? I'm pretty excited just to have these take off. I'll just wind them up these strings here as they grow. As I said, the only pruning that I will likely do is anything that's touching the bottom I will cut off. And then usually like by mid-August, when your indeterminates are way up here and they continue to grow, because they will keep growing as long as they are living, before they get killed off by frost or disease, they will keep growing. What I will do is I'll start topping them off mid-August. Any new growth that's coming, just cut it off so that it focuses on all the existing tomatoes and everything that we have on there already, knowing that they probably only have a month or so to go. So it kind of slows down that production at the end of the season. Okay, guys, if you can check out those clouds behind me, you can see that we have some rain coming, maybe some thunder. So I'm going to head indoors. My tomatoes have all been secured with some strings and reinforcements so that they should be okay in this wind. And again, let me know in the comments how you grow your tomatoes. And if you haven't already done so, I'd love for you to join my community, Gardeners Growing Together. The link to that is in the description box below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.